Welcome to Roleplay Cafe. It's Dell here. I wanted to go over Dredgewater, more appropriately, the land of Dredge in general. The land of Dredge, the land owner is Lord Wesley, the sober Washburn. Presides over approximately 500 people. Religion, early Christianity, and pagan. In this area is where the characters will start. It's the default starting position for characters in Dark Age Man. It's located in the west of England in the Cotswold regions. Is where in England is where it's kind of drawn inspiration from. It's a region of lowland swamps broken up by sparse, rocky, undulating hills. Within this land, bordered by River Dredge to its west. A few scattered settlements make a meager living. When called upon in times of war or invasion, most of Lord Washburn's male residents comprise his lowly army. Right. Now, Dredge Town is most well established among these settlements. Lord Washburn's home, in fact. The small elevated city of wood and earthen structures encircled by 14-foot palisade walls is in poor repair. The south gate, portcullis, and drawbridge provide both defense and one way into Dredge Town proper. Just below the city rise of the hill upon which Dredge Town stands is a natural moat of swampland. Lord Washburn is a sober, middle-aged lord whose coffers suffer from little tangible wealth. Lord Washburn dares not dabble in political affairs, yet must answer the call of his aldermen, friends, neighbors, in times of great peril or difficulty. Lord Washburn's family, his court, and his servants all live and work within this fortified village under the church's strict guidance. Lady Esmeralda Washburn is a stern, devout Christian, and she educates their 4 children, Westfield, Connor, Sarah, and Joy. Among Dredge Town's other residences are a groom and blacksmith, men-at-arms, a small permanent group of guards, cooks, and a house servants. All right. Now, Dredgewater is southwest of Dredge Town, squatted on the swampy ground just off the River Dredge's Dredgewater. All characters start in the small, ramshackle fishing village skirting the River Dredge. It is within the lands overseen by Lord Wesley Washburn of Dredge. All have sworn fealty to Lord Washburn's family and live on and work his lands. Those who call Dredgewater home are primarily anglers, with a few agricultural laborers. Others offer handmade trade goods or services, but they are rare. Dredgewater sees many travelers, merchants, adventurers, and troublemakers. The folks here looked on some as friends and others as foes. The surrounding areas. The River Dredge flows south. Just west of Dredgewater provides fishing while surrounding lands sustain some agricultural work and provide subsistence for most serfs and peasants. In the north lays a frontier of unknown dangers from which the river flows, yet it supplies quick travel routes south to the River Thames. South of Dredgewater is Valdemar Mort's small estate. East of Dredgewater is Dredgewater Downs. The village itself, Dredgewater, is miserable and suffers from a high water table surrounded by mud and muck, with steady seasonal floodings. All its wood and earthen buildings stand atop man-made mounds connected by earthen or wooden ramps and raised boardwalks. In the village center is a stockade where some poor fool always hangs, crying for help. A blacksmith, a church, a Blackleaf Tavern dominate the village center. The Gold Leaf Inn is west, bordering the River Dredge, while Washburn Arms is north of the village center. Little wealth lives, comes, or is earned here, but it is home, and it might improve with the heroic exports of the characters. Most locals live away from the village center and surrounding areas. Wood, mud, or earthen huts and shacks make up many of their dwellings, and some live in animal skin tents. prominent residents of Dredgewater. Those worth noting are Sheriff Basil Danforth, the blacksmith, Dar Reynolds, Golden Leaf Inn owner Samantha Pratt, Blackleaf Tavern owner Jules Davenport, Washburn Arms run by Martin, and the largest building in the village. Last, there is a church and a holy man, Tetre Falcon. Dredgewater Downs, just a mile or so, climbing out of the swampland is Dredgewater Downs. Here, nothing more than inn and chapel is situated at the crossroads. From there, the land slopes up out of the swamps and into a great open country dotted with tiny villages, cities, baronies, duchies, and kingdoms. Okay, so this is starting position, the default starting position in Dark Age of Man. Some of the considerations with this design and layout is Dredgetown. On the other side of this are the hardwoods, forest. It would be harder to attack from that position up to this rise through the forest areas. A lot of outlaws, it's the King's Wood. A lot of outlaws harbor there, escapees and whatnot. There is Saverick Hurst does reside in there and does tries to keep their goings on at a minimum and root them out and bring them back to justice, as well as making sure that no one pilfers in Lord Washburn's wood. Attacking from the south at the natural swampland moats, they would have to traverse through these areas to get up this rise to attack Dredgetown proper. This river has a tendency to, with a high water table, fill out and fill in this whole area. Now, this is typically, when you're going down the river, is too dangerous, as there are more residing cliff edges and less of a passable way across. This, however muck and muddy it is, does allow traversing across the river via the ferry. Now, it may seem odd at first blush that the citizens live here, or at least the major components of passing through. A lot of them. There's for example, Vidar Watt lived south of here, more in this area down here, where it was still flooded, right? But he would collect these reeds off of out of the area, rush lights, and sell it to the tanner who was still off in the area. Tanners usually stay out of a town center because it's a nasty smelling occupation, and the citizens would rather them stay out. In another game, we had someone set up play from their position south of town. So a lot of players may live in a satellite position outside of Dredgewater and be able to approach it. But there is up here, you see the orchards, the church. The orchards usually live on, like I said, sloping hills and rises or whatever like that. But there's going to be a wash off to where the water is going to flow and just increase this mud and muck in here. But the muck can be gathered for Wattle and Daub Constructions. The Vidar Watt, the character that I played, he was also, a roofer, basically, to repair roofs and whatnot, the thatch roofs, with mud, as well as walls or whatever situation he could get some kind of income into his pockets. But you're going to have this is a way of the thoroughfare coming through here. You're going to have anywhere from lowly travelers, pilgrims, nobles or whatnot having to go through Dredgewater because this is primary to pass across the river in either way. So these people are taking advantage of that situation. There has to be some kind of blacksmith for broken wagons or whatnot repair or whatnot. Anything, services, goods, inns have to be there to facilitate some kind of aid to travelers that need and want to cross over the river dredge, to get to the other side. So with this situation, you can have characters that start, and a situation could be going on in Dredgewater that is imminent and needs to be addressed by the players, or the players could head out and use this thing as a launch pad to go out into further adventures outward. But also, if the players do not want to leave off immediately, you can have a bit of a Gunsmoke-like situation where the town itself can see travelers entering and leaving and still create a cause of conflict that may occur. So, in any effect, this is just a basic preliminary showcase of Dredgewater and what it offers as far as a starter position, and why we chose it to be that way. It was Jason's creation, and over time of play and honing and tweaking it, this is where we got.